Thank you. Hey, everyone. Thank you for introducing me. I heard I can have some issue with microphone, so I will be closer to the computer, so you can hear me better. And that's because I'm so big on your screen. Like the face is really big on your screen. That's not intentional. So I'm going to start my presentation. Please let me know if you can hear me and see the slides, see the presentations.
Yes, all is good.
Okay, thank you. So I hope my speech at the conference will be interesting for you after so many great previous presentations, and I think I can provide you some new openings on the field of animal studies, and actually I'm going to cover the relationship between animal studies and energy studies, if I can describe it on some global scale. And before it, some information about myself. I'm actually a student of ethnology at Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznań, that is Poland. And I'm also working at the same university on two scientific projects. The first one is about Polish nuclear power plant in Żarnowiec. That's about my presentation today. And the second one is about ecosystem services provided by trees to local communities. That's my theoretical background of my scientific interest in ethnology or broader anthropology, like culture or social anthropology. So first thing first, I have to acknowledge Ministry of Science and Higher Education of Poland, of the Republic of Poland, because the presentation you are going to hear is the result of my work on the ground from the ministry. So now we can begin. I have for you a story of attempt to build a power plant, a nuclear power plant in Poland. And in the first part of my presentation, I'm going to tell you some three stage of trying to build one in Poland. So at the beginning, the story starts on December 1972, when authorities of People's Republic of Poland decided to select a place for the construction, first in our country, nuclear power plant. The choice fell on the area of Żarnowiec Lake. It's like Żarnowiec is a village in northern Poland. And this was decided by the distance from the large cities. It's about safety issues and favorable geological and hydrological conditions in this part of country. So the surroundings of the village of Żarnowiec and the lake named on the same names, like Żarnowieckie Lake, was ideal for the construction because it could be used as a source of water to cool the reactors. And it's a really important topic because due to the fact that the reactors planned to be installed in the power plant, we are going to use open cooling system, and the temperature in the nearby lake would rise about 10 degrees Celsius after the startup of the power plant, of the production of energy. And the power plant builders decided to stock the reservoir with thermophilic and herbivorous fish. So like new fish species were introduced to the ecosystem. However, in order to ensure that the new population will not be threatened by anything, a mass harvest of predatory species was allowed to the fishes in our times. This example shows that already at the stage of planning and construction, relations between humans and the non-humans entities were established, which changed the local ecosystem. And on the stage 3, the history of Polish power plants and because of the events of 1986 and the reports from Chernobyl about the catastrophe of the local nuclear plants start to made an opposition of the local community, and a decision was made to suspend the construction of the power plant in particular in Żarnowiec. And after transformations in Polish political system after 1990, the new government decided to suspend the project, which was too expensive for the budget in the lower times. So this is a picture from 1989 from Gdańsk, a city in northern Poland, and the picture of protests against the construction after the catastrophe in Chernobyl. And this is the picture of current view on power plant buildings. So that's how it looks like. And on this example, the changes on the ecosystem of this lake are revealing the relationship between humans and the non-humans has been established on the different actually ontologies where the natural world or a natural ecosystem can be determined. So based on this story, I going to put some also three anthropological perspectives from anthropological writing, and the first one is Eduardo Kohn, which start anthropological work about forest in Southern America, and there's a short quote from him. It's like anthropology is that is not just confined to the human, but it's sorry, because I can okay. It's not concerned with the effects of our entanglements with other kinds of living self. So Eduardo Kohn are telling us to make an anthropology, and with all of the writings we are putting to some ethnographical work or anthropological work to go beyond the human actor in our work. And moving on, I'm going to introduce the Anna Singh. Oh, sorry. And she is telling us to make some assemblage, like to making some new pictures, new view on the relationship between human actors and the non-human actors. And she's making a work with the landscape terminology, and the third one. Sorry, because I have so many windows from Zoom, and okay, so I'm going to the okay. Now I want to introduce you with Donna Haraway, which have some powerful books, and actually I want to introduce you the concept of natural culture, which is something new in the field of anthropology. And when we have the story of the Polish power plants in Żarnowiec, and the story with the introducing new fish species in the lake to establish proper ecosystem. I don't know, characteristics on which we can build a functional power plant. So we have to prepare the ecosystem when we want to make to make energy from this power plant. So when we have this story in mind, and we can read Donna Haraway's books and writings about natural culture, which is term to not distinguish between nature and culture, but try to connect it, try to throw away the border between those parts of reality. And Donna Haraway is telling us to think about the world not in the context of culture, which can we put to the power plants, like the human actions, some buildings, and so ideas standing behind them, and the nature. So it's like the ecosystem of the lake. And now we can see the whole system like working together. We have the natural culture relationship between the builders of the power plant and the contribution to changing the local ecosystem. And we have some difficulties with this approach. And I'm going to share you some a chart, a map after the catastrophe in Fukushima power plant in Japan. So on this graph, you can see the dissemination of radioactive water from the contaminated reactors. And on the global scale, we have a big problems with nature, with the protection of the environment, and so on and so forth. So this is a big problem for the humanity, and also for the other species living on the planet. But on the other hand, I'm going to share you a map, and now you can see a map of Europe, particularly Poland, and it's about the emission of CO2 in energy system in Europe in April 25 this year. So we can see that those countries who have actually nuclear power plants have lower emissions of CO2, and from the global perspective, as we are talking about climate change and everything connected with it, with the problems of extinction of species in the global scale, and health problems standing behind this, and everything connected with the modern problems of production and using the energy source like fossil fuels and carbon in the first place. So now we're standing on a ground when we have to decide, and actually I think this could be my conclusion, because now we have to decision decision problem on how to combine our discussion actually on this conference on moral and or ethical problems standing behind defense of human rights against any form of human oppression in the industry, or how to produce or lower the production of meat and lower the consumption of meat. And we also have to continue to establish a proper way of production energy, as because we have other problems like the climate problems, and the urgent to using some technological like things like computers and so on in times of pandemic are so important to live on. So on this story standing behind the attempt to build a power plant nuclear power plant in Poland, the story of established relationship between local ecosystem and the culture side of this project, like the ruins of not made power plant. So the inspiration from ethnographic work, especially from the Donna Haraway's connection with nature and cultures, like not distinguish it, but describing the connection with nature and culture as the same, as one. Now we have the background for establish a debate about how to produce, how to establish globally connected or globally I miss the word, but the global system of producing energy in a way that's not going to put us in a climate crisis. So that's the conclusion from my presentation. That this is the way I'm going to think about the possible way of thinking of making some energy studies about this topic, also with animal rights and activists for animal rights in the way of producing energy in the world. So thank you for listening to me.